Welcome to the Social Ninjas podcast. I am your co-host, Kyle. Join with me as always, Jeremy, the other co-host. What is up?
Wah, wah, wah. I'm so gronked up right now, Kyle.
Oh man, you're teasing it up. So we do have a very special guest with us today, Chris Gronkowski. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, guys, man? Jeremy's feeling good over there. That's all I know.
All right. Can you give us a little background on yourself, kind of what you're doing now?
Yeah, man. So let's see. We'll start from the beginning. The middle of the five Gronkowski brothers, man. So grew up in Buffalo, New York. 4 out of 5 went on to play in the NFL. The fifth brother was scared to play football, so he actually played baseball instead. And he regrets it because he's the only one that didn't make it to the NFL. So that's cool. But yeah, man, growing up was mayhem. You put 5 boys in a house that are oversized, and all we did was fight all day, every day. And it just bred us to become just animals, I guess, man. And with that, I went on to play college football. From there, I had a shot to play in the NFL, went undrafted, ended up starting for 3 years, got 4 accredited seasons in. And man, it was good. It was something I never thought I would do. But I got that opportunity, went all in, and from that, took that money and started up my own business. So first, it actually started with my wife's business, who started it because she was sick of finding a new job every time I went to a new team, which was every year, and she wanted to find a way to work from home. So transitioned into a personalization company that I went into, and saw a great opportunity there. So ended up making more money the first year in her business than I was making playing in the NFL. And, just grew that. Still have it today. It's doing really well. It continues to grow. But at the end of the day, it was my wife's passion. And 5 years into it, I thought of this amazing idea for a shaker bottle. I love going to the gym, crushing weights and crushing protein shakes. So when I thought of it, I'm like, hey, man, this is it. If I could work out and make videos and call it work, I'm going to do it. So took that passion, followed it. Ended up creating this company called Ice Shaker, in which it made a kitchen grade insulated stainless steel bottle, and was able to get on Shark Tank within the first 6 months. From there, just exploded, man. And I'm now going into my 4th year. So 3rd warehouse in 4 years, and we just moved into it this week. So things have been hectic, but man, it's been good.
Awesome. So I'm curious. So you got drafted into the NFL. You played there for, you said, what, 4 years? And then you went on to go on, with your wife's business and end up starting your own thing with the Ice Shaker. What was that transition like from NFL to, I don't know how I'd exactly put it, but to something else completely different?
To a civilian.
Yeah, there you go, civilian.
Feels like you come out of the military, right? No, it's tough, man. People struggle with it a lot because all you know is sports. You start playing in high school. Some people start playing when they're 8, in little league or whatever it is. So that's all you know. And then when you get to that NFL level, you're like, man, I'm going to be here forever, man. I'm going to play forever. This is what I do. And then one injury later, or one bad season, all of a sudden you're cut and you're on the streets, man. And you have nothing at that point. You have no other skills. You have no job experience. And you go and you take this massive pay cut. So it's a hard transition, man. Guys struggle with it a lot. And for me, I just got super lucky, man. I got released with the injury settlement. I tried to come back, and I tore my hamstring. I ruptured it, and it was either have surgery or give up football. And at that same time, my wife's business was taking off. So it was kind of like, hey, you only have one option at this point, which is great because a lot of people struggle with that second option of going back and trying to make it again. And I just didn't even have it. So it was a great ending. It was a blessing in disguise to actually get hurt and just give it up and transitioned right into it. And, sports actually prepares you to be an entrepreneur. The hard work, the grind, the long days, man, even just the teamwork. Teamwork's huge in business. Everything from sports. If you want to win a championship, it's all about the team. And you realize that really quick in business, it's the same exact way. And then, man, the other thing that I learned a lot in sports is just multitasking, especially in college. If you want to be a student athlete, you go to class, you go to study hall, you go to mandatory breakfasts, you get home at 7 o'clock, and you got to study for the next day. And to have good grades and also excel in sports at the same time, you have to learn how to multitask. You have to learn how to manage a schedule. And as a business owner, that is huge as well, because you just have so much on your plate. You have to maximize every minute of your day.
Wow, amazing. I'm just going to kind of jump into it. I'm always curious because of all the pressures that are attached to being an athlete and being in the NFL, or just kind of sports in general, being like a professional. Like, how does that mental health aspect, like how do people manage their mental health with all those expectations and that are placed on them?
Man, that is, you don't really think about that, because as an athlete, you've always been taught to be like, this macho man. Like, you don't complain about anything. You don't tell people when you get hurt. You don't lay on the ground on the field unless you literally can't get up. So, that's how we were raised, man. So the mental aspect of it, you don't even really think about it until afterwards. And I think lately, a lot has been put onto that. The NFLPA has really came back, and they put a lot of really good programs in for that reason, because, there's so much pressure, man. Like, when I played, I had, they told me every night I had to wear a mouth guard to bed. They're like, what are you talking about? That's for games only, right? Like, no, you need to wear one to bed, because all I did was grind my teeth the entire night because I was so stressed out, man. I didn't sleep. If I got 5 hours of sleep, that was huge. But the pressure's insane. If I come 1 minute late to practice, it's $1,000 fine. Every single thing I did on the field in practice or during the game was filmed, and then you'd watch it. And all you would do after, when you watch it, was get yelled at. This is what you did wrong. This is what you did wrong. I mean, they tell you what you did good too, but what other job do you have where you come 1 minute late, you get fined $1,000. You come in and you weigh 2 pounds overweight, you get fined $1,000. And then you get filmed the entire day, all day long, everything you do, and then you could be cut and put on the streets at any moment for any reason, and you don't have a paycheck anymore. What most people don't understand is that there's nothing guaranteed in the NFL. If you're not on the roster on a Wednesday, you don't get paid unless you're a superstar and you have it built into your contract, which is maybe 5 or 6 guys on the entire team. So, man, super, super stressful environment to be in. And then all the outside pressures added on from, fantasy football, and sports betting is just insane, man. And once people have money on the line and you have a bad game, you are going to hear all about it, man. So pressure just builds and builds and builds. And, you have to be ready for it. And that's what you sign up for. And, you got to be ready and prepared on game day. So, but yeah, man, mental game, I think it becomes even worse afterwards. So you kind of, what I've noticed is the biggest thing you miss when you leave is that team feel. You have that team feeling. It's one goal, one mission. You're with your boys all day, every day. Then all of a sudden you're out and you're by yourself. And it's like, hey, man, what happened? And that's when guys really start to lose it, is once they lose that team atmosphere. So the NFLPA has came in, and they've done a really good job of putting programs in place to help guys with life after football, not just with jobs and all that as well, but also mental and education wise. So they definitely put a focus on that.
I'm curious, you were talking about kind of the pressures of having, the fantasy drafts and stuff like that. And, if you have a bad game, obviously you got people who are hating on you for that. How do you deal with all that? Like, what was your strategy? Did you like try to avoid social media and not read that stuff? Or I mean, I can't even imagine just like thousands of people just constantly, coming at you, all the time. How do you handle that?
Yeah, man. So you don't go on social media. You don't read articles. I mean, if you have a really good game, you do. That's for sure. But during tough times, man, you can't, man. And that's why you see, a lot of people will ask me like, hey, man, why doesn't your brother post? Why are you guys posting when you're playing? And that's the last thing you think about. And that's the last thing you want to do, because you don't want to sit there and just read people's comments. The thing is that, a normal fan doesn't even truly know what's going on in the game. They don't know what the actual strategy for the game is. So, maybe my brother goes out there and he doesn't have any passes. Well, they saw on film that the team couldn't stop the run game. So why are they going to sit there and throw the ball the whole game? And if you watch the game, he had the best blocking game of his career, and they scored 45 points on the ground and blew him out. And all you see online and on social media is that he sucks. And you're like, Man, did you even watch the game? And so you can't go on social and expect to have people even understand what's going on. And so for the most part, you don't. You talk to your teammates, you talk to your family, and you talk to your coaches during the season, because that's your team, man. They know what's actually happening, and those are the people that you can lean on and you're going to get support from. So yeah, stay away from social, stay away from the articles, and you're good.
Wow, that's heavy. I can't imagine all these people people love displacing their own projections and other people. I feel like it must be chaos seeing all those hate comments even you have a good game.
Oh yeah, even when you have a good game, the other teammates, fans are like, oh, you suck. So it is what it is, man. And you're a professional, so it comes with the territory.
I'm curious how you said that there's been kind of a structure set in place to help you with the transition to get out of the NFL. How does that look?
Yeah, so the NFLPA has put in what they call the trust, and it's actually it's all kinds of free events, and even to this day, I'm 5 years out, and I still am. There's invites to events all the time, not just here in Dallas where I am, but throughout the country. But with that, even after you get out, there's a 1.5-year program set up to help you train and get back. So if you leave the league and you still think you have a chance to play, they'll actually pay for training for 1.5 years, and that was something I was doing until I ended up blowing out my hamstring on a tryout. But everything's there, everything's structured. Education-wise, you can actually go back to school at any point, and all you have to do is you have to submit that information, and you'll actually get paid back for it as well. So they've done a really good job of recognizing that players are going to need help, that they're transitioning out of a career into a completely new lifestyle that they have no experience with. So they're going to have to they're going to have to be helped a little bit at some point, possibly. It's not everyone. A lot of guys come out and they just crush it at the next thing. But a lot of guys, this is all they've ever done, and it's going to take a little bit for them to figure out what they want to do next.
So I had somebody ask me a question they wanted me to ask you. How do you handle failures or making mistakes?
Man, that's so really the only way to handle it and for it not to be a mistake is to learn from it. You go back and you look at it and you say, why did this happen? Was I not prepared? Is there a way I can do it better? Is it really a failure, or is it part of the plan? So handling failures, it always just make me work harder, made me put my head down, try to figure out why it happened, and be more prepared for the next time so that it never happened again. So competition and mistakes are the drivers of success if you look at them the right way. So man, if you don't learn from it and you let it happen again, then it truly is a failure.
As far as mindset, like as an athlete, do people have go to therapists? Do they have conditioning coaches? How does that work? Because I feel like mindset is huge.
It's something that's becoming bigger and bigger. And I've actually seen and talked to people that are like, hey, yeah, I'm a professional golfer and I have a mindset coach. I'm like, really? That's kind of crazy. Like I've never really heard of that. So as a player, all you really have is like, you have like a chaplain, right? And like that was kind of the guy people would go to, and then we do like you'd have chapel on Sundays before games and stuff like that. But other than that, there really wasn't. And maybe there is now. I've been out for a little bit now, so that could be playing a bigger part in some teams' locker rooms now. But at the end of the day, there really isn't a mindset coach. There's a training staff that's going to help you when you're hurt, and there's your coaches and your teammates, but there's no one that's there that's trying to keep you in the right frame of mind for the most part.
So I'm curious. Obviously, you're really passionate about working out, staying healthy. And I know there's also a connection between that and mental health. I was just kind of wondering if you had or you could feel some sort of connection there as far as like days where you do go to the gym, or maybe there's a day, maybe you miss a day sometimes, and like what's that impact for you?
Man, off days, off day was non-existent until COVID hit. For me, I was actually going to the gym 7 days a week. But man, I'm almost glad that COVID hit on that basis because, you can burn yourself out, and that's what I was doing for the most part. But I was doing it because exactly what you said. On a day when I didn't work out, I would just get agitated easily. I was more stressed out. It was just harder for me to get things done. It was harder for me to focus. So I always used the gym as a way to get that stress out, to really plan for the day. And it always got me re-energized. Like, I'd go there and crush a workout, and I'd push myself mentally and physically. And then, I pushed myself so hard that for the rest of the day, everything was easy. You couldn't throw anything harder than me at me than, sitting there squatting, a house for 10 reps. So if I could do that, if I could get through that, all the endorphins, all the energy was there, and I was ready to crush the day. So I'm a huge fan of physically working out because I do think it greatly affects your mindset, your energy levels, and just how you feel about yourself. When you accomplish something, the second you wake up, you feel good. You feel good that you did something, that you started the day off on the right foot, and you're ready to crush the rest of the day as well. So I tried not to miss a day. COVID has definitely changed things for me. I had to change my routine. I can't work out at 4:30 in the morning when it's pitch black out at my house and wake up the kids and the wife and everything while I'm slamming weights in the upstairs in my house. So had to change that up. And now I kind of use it more of in the middle of the day, or maybe I'll wake up early and I'll work for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll work out and get that stress out, kind of reset myself and get ready for the rest of the day. But man, I still think that mentally it's one of the best things that you could do for yourself.
I'm curious, when you were injured, like how were you, were you still able to get that workout in, or how did it affect it?
No, that is, man, that's a tough time when you're hurt, because not only do you not have that aspect, you also, you feel like you let your team down. It's that feeling. So I did get hurt in my second year. I tore my pec week 7 when I was with the Colts, and I was done for the year. I had to have surgery. So I was done. I was lucky enough to re-heal. A 6-month process before the next season. But, that period, it was really, 9 weeks long, where I was just in the training room, rehabbing, stuff like that, and just watching everyone else play, watching everyone else get prepared for the week. And mentally, man, that is very, very tough. That's one of the hardest things to get to. And that's when guys really fall into a depression, because, you lose that workout aspect, but you also get that feeling like, hey, man, I let everybody down as well. So that's one of the toughest times as an athlete, is when you're hurt.
So I'm curious about your routine. You talked about how it changed from COVID to now. So I'd like to know what the routine was before, and then kind of what it is now, and how important is your routine for you?
Yeah. So before, it was wake up early, work out, and then crush whatever the hardest thing I was going to do that day work-wise. And then my kids would get up, I'd hang out with the kids, and then they would actually go to school. Then COVID hit and everything changed. So then it became, wake up early, do as much work as I could, wait till it got light outside, hopefully get a workout in before the kids woke up. And then it was, the kids are now at home all day, every day. And my wife also runs her own business too. So it became very difficult, and it's been just a balancing act. There's certain times where she has to work, and it changes every single day. So we kind of just plan our days out each and every day as it comes. And we help each other out as much as we can. But you end up doing stuff really late at night, and you end up doing stuff really early in the morning. And then you hope in the middle of the day that you can get things done. But I've started using that time, with the kids to actually work out. It's a time where I could fit that workout in while they're up, and I could work out with them, and we could all do it together and have fun. So it's a great way to just multitask and get 2 things done at the same time.
Awesome. I'm going to kind of go back. I'm curious about Stadium Blitz, how you kind of got that started. And
yeah, man.
What's that experience like?
It was amazing until it got shut down for COVID.
Yeah.
But no, it started because, Rob retired. We were all out of sports at that point. And when he was playing, and when we were all playing, it was a way to get together. It was a way to see the whole family. And once that ended, we didn't really have these like planned events or times that we were going to get together. So this idea for Stadium Blitz came across our plate, and it was just right up our alley, man. Sports, fitness, NFL, college stadiums. This is money, man. So a way to compete against each other. All 5 brothers, competing in something that we all suck at for the most part, which is long distance endurance, which we've never trained for. So we're like, man, at least it's fair on every level, And so, once this idea came across, we were all in. We're like, yeah, I love the idea. It gets people up. It represents our family brand, which is health and fitness. And it's in stadiums, man. And it gives people that opportunity to walk out with the lights on onto their favorite stadium that their favorite players play on and get butterflies because they're competing under the lights. So we're like, man, they can't get any better than this. So we ran 2 events last year. We ran 2 earlier this year. It was just taking off. We had over 1,000 people signed up for Ohio State, and everything just got shut down. So we're hoping to get at least one more event in this year in Tampa. That would have been our championship. So we're hoping that at least still happens. But if not, 2021, hopefully it all starts back up. So right now it's just kind of a waiting game. And it's a waiting game that we're not going to stop on. We're not just going to give up on it. It's something that we love. It's something we believe in, and we're going to ride it out. Hopefully it comes back soon. Hopefully it's not like 5 years or something like crazy like that. But hopefully next year we'll be back with a full tour again.
The Social Ninjas to Stadium Blitz.
Oh, you coming out, man? Let's do this.
Sick.
Yeah, we were coming. We were coming to California before it got shut down. So I'm sure we'll be back.
We can all go to Taiwan. All their professional sports is up and running.
Oh, I know. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to let the Stadium Blitz crew know, man. I don't know if my wife will let me travel there, but I'm down.
What? Taiwan is super, super safe.
Oh yeah, no, but just with everything going on and with 3 kids, it's difficult to get out of the house.
Kyle doesn't know anything about that.
Yeah, sometimes I just go on long drives by myself for a minute.
Yeah. Good place to be sometimes.
Yeah.
Have like a mural of like a beach on the dashboard.
Just put the podcast on, man. Put the headset in. Little stroll, man. We all know what that's like during COVID right now.
Oh, for sure. So I'm wondering what your experience was like when you went on Shark Tank. What did you feel? Was there a sense of like pressure when you were going on that, or how was that experience?
Man, it was the real deal, man. It's what everyone thinks it is. They don't know who you are when you walk out there. It's real, man. Like I said, there's no scripting. The conversation all real, the deal's all real. So, I knew it was big time. I knew it was, this opportunity that was going to be once in a lifetime. So I was prepared. And the good thing is, unlike a sports game where, a blitz could come off the edge or something could change at the last second, I pretty much knew what was going to happen. There was 8 episodes or 8 seasons, more like it, before me that I was able to go watch. I was able to go write down each and every question. I was ready and prepared for each and every question. So when I walked out there, it wasn't bad, man. The pressure is going to be there because it's such a big moment. But when you have your 4 brothers chilling in the back room and you scream for them to come out and they do this massive chest bump, it doesn't get any better than that, man, with family there. And that was it. All the pressure was off at that point. You play Flip Cup on national TV, man. You can't ask for better. And so after that point, the whole room kind of just softened up, and it was game time at that point.
So I liked how you said, I think it's interesting how you went back and watched episodes to prepare for that, for that kind of something that would be normally pretty high pressure. What was the kind of tactics you used to prepare for an NFL game? I mean, obviously you probably watched film and, stuff like that pretty much everybody does. Were there any other like techniques or strategies that you used to like really prep yourself mentally to be ready for a game?
Yeah, man. So the scouts do a really good job of preparing you for really every situation. So when you go into a game, tendencies of players, for years. Sometimes they go back like 4 or 5 years on a player. So at that point, you're like, man, that's insane. And then you see it come out in that game. You're like, no way, something that they pulled from 5 years ago. This guy just broke out. So on the field wise, you were prepared as you could be, but at any moment they could change the defense. They could show something they never shown before. So you kind of just had to be prepared for everything. But mentally, and for me, it was always tough, man, because you're on this routine, but then when you go and play a game, you go into a hotel the night before, and they would just unlimited food, man. They would feed you and just buffets of amazing food. And that was the hardest part for me, man, because I would go to sleep and I eat way too much. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd eat way too much for breakfast. And then, you go into the game, you're like, man, what do I eat? What do I do? Kind of deal. And so I had to just kind of get this routine down. Like, I'm going to eat the same thing every time. Like, if I have a good game, that's what I ate. I'm going to just eat that all year before the game. That's kind of like my good luck meal. So I would do that. And then, man, game time was, it was weird because, like, you get so nervous. But when I go over to the game, I would fall asleep on the bus, even if it was like a 15-minute ride. And I don't know why, but then you wake up and I'd be ready to go. So that was kind of my mental routine, man. It just, you kind of just get thrown off because it's a different day than your normal schedule. And the best thing you probably can do is try to mimic a normal day. But, man, it's tough when you're in a really cozy hotel with way too much food.
I bet. And you have that stress, and you stress eat.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, you just that's pretty much what happens. So you have to control your eating, though, or else you just go into a game feeling awful.
Yeah. I'm curious about if you had like a positive self-talk instilled in you. Like, how do you talk to yourself, like, through each failure?
Man, so I did have a lot of that. I had a notebook, and I wish I have it somewhere, but there was a lot of F-bombs in that notebook. And it was just like, that's how I talked. I mean, it was a whole different mindset when I was playing, whole different person. Like, if I went back and I met myself then, I'd be scared of myself.
Wow.
Things just changed so much. And the mindset
Scared
at
of
that
yourself?
time was, yeah, man, I was
Tell me more.
friggin' beast, man. And that was that mindset. Like, there's no failure. There's no way I'm going to let this guy across me, beat me on this play. So everything was, you're going to play to the whistle and you're going to go as hard as you can. So that was the self-talk, man. And before games, during the game, in my mind, it was, hey, you're not going to lose on this play. You're not going to stop. Just keep going harder and harder every single play, man. So yeah, self-talk. I was pretty good at it for the most part. And yeah, man, it works. And I also was pretty good at writing it down as well and reading it to myself.
Is there a spiritual side to Chris Gronkowski? Meditation, whatever else?
Man, I've never really broke into the meditation. I know a lot of guys and a lot of people talk about it, and it really helps them, but I just haven't got to that point. When you have 3 kids, meditation does not last long in the house. You're lucky to get like a good 20 seconds in before you get elbow dropped in the back by one of the kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can obviously relate to that. The key is to try and get up before they do, but sometimes that doesn't always work either. So I wanted to ask just one more question for you. If you had the ability to send a message to everybody in the world, what would your message be?
Oh, man. Man, something for me right now. I would say with 2020, and so one of the things that I really learned was, just leading with value is what I think is big. If you want to be successful in life, find what you're really good at, and share it with the world. There's going to be a lot of people that respect, and they're going to want to know more about it. And if you can provide value to them, they're going to provide value back to you. So, when 2020 hit and COVID hit and everything shut down, that was a huge focus for myself and also for the company was, how can we still help people during this time? Businesses stopped. A lot of people literally can't do anything, especially, if you owned a gym or, you were in the events industry. And we looked at it at that point and just said, but how can we still help people? So, we started doing stuff like, free workouts, putting together meal plans, stuff like that, and just giving it out for free. We started bringing guests on my podcast, the Gronked Up podcast, that were just experts at stuff like nutrition and fitness and mindset. And we brought them on just to talk, to people about getting through tough times and changing your diet and your workouts at home. So, man, right now, I think that's huge. I think if you want to be successful in anything, just lead with value and lead with what you're good at and what you're passionate about.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, lead them with value. So if somebody's trying to follow you, where can they find you? Where can they find the podcast, the Ice Shaker? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, for sure. So check out the product at iceshaker.com. We're on social everywhere as well, at iceshakerbottle. And then me personally, just my name, at Chris Gronkowski, Twitter, let's see, Instagram, TikTok now, man. I'm everywhere. And we do have a new YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/The Gronks. So all 5 brothers getting on there, doing ridiculous stuff. We just walked the wire with Nick Walenda, who walked over Niagara Falls. He walked over the Grand Canyon. He walked over a freaking volcano as it was erupting. And they had to reset the wire the day before because it melted. From the actual fumes from the volcano, and he still did it with a mask on. And man, we got on this wire, and like it looks easy to him, right? He's up there for like a couple hours over a damn volcano that's erupting, and you would think it's like kind of easy. All 5 brothers got on this wire. We couldn't even walk 5 feet on the damn wire. So it was watch the episode, man. It's funny. I wiped out. I ate it, and I got a lot more respect for him. And so yeah, we've been breaking out YouTube episodes as well. So check that out too.
Perhaps we can get the all 5 brothers on the Social Ninjas podcast.
Man, that's off season only. Yeah, you won't see Rob at any podcast for the rest of the year. I can promise you that.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And until next week, if you like our podcast, definitely give us a 5-star. If you don't like our podcast, definitely give us a 5-star as well.
I agree.
That's the best way to show us your
Give mine one too.
And until then, we'll see you all next week.